this is a Python function, so I can do anything in it. And one of the things I can do is instead of just returning a blob of static HTML, I can actually return the value of a Jinja template when the Jinja template is rendered into HTML. And that was a lot of words, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a Jinja template that produces the list of instructors associated with a particular instructor list. And then, actually, I'm sorry, this is a list of all the instructor lists. So I'm going to right click on templates. I'm going to say new. And for now, to keep this simple, I'm going to make it an HTML file called print instructor lists. And I'm going to get a little fancier in a little while, but for now, I'm going to keep this dead simple. So the title is going to be list of instructor lists. And then I'm going to repeat that text here in an H1 header. And then I'm going to make an unordered list. And I'm going to use a cool feature of Jinja, which is you can actually include loops and if statements and other stuff inside of your Jinja template. So you use curly bracket % as the delimiters for a Jinja tag inside of your HTML document. And then for this particular one, I'm going to say for instructor list in instructor lists, I'm going to do something. And then at the end of doing that, I'm going to have an end for. So this is going to be a loop. And then inside the loop, what I'm going to do is for each instructor list, I'm going to have an li, which is a list item. And then inside of that list item, I'm going to print the value of instructor list dot get name. So these double curly brackets, which are sometimes called handlebars in Jinja means replace everything from there to there with whatever value this expression returns. And this looks just like Python. It's not actually, it's actually a funny language that Jinja knows about, which is close to Python and it's configurable. But you can also make it look like some other languages as well. So basically, this is a loop that's going to produce an unordered list of the instructor list names from whatever this instructor lists comes from. So where does this instructor lists come from? Well, I have to pass this in when I render the template. So I'm going to take this template and I'm going to render it into HTML. And when I do that rendering, I'm going to supply the values for any of the variables it needs to render the template. And so if I go back to this constructor's web UI, what I want to return is render template. And then I give it the name of the file that I want to render. And I also supply any variables that this thing needs to be rendered as basically keyword arguments. So instructor lists inside of this Jinja template is going to refer to my course instructors web UI dot course lists, which I got when I started running the application. So when I started running the application, I set course instructors web UI dot all instructors and course instructors web UI dot course lists to be the thing that was returned from read course lists. And then here I'm passing that value into this render template method as the variable name instructor lists. And then in the template, I can loop through each instructor list in instructor lists. And this is going to be a Python instructor list object. And I can call the get name accessor of that and put it in my list. And then one other thing I need to do to make this work is render template is part of the Flask library. It's actually part of Jinja, which is included with Flask. So I want to add render template to the list of things I'm importing from Flask. And then I'm going to go ahead and rerun the thing. And I'm going to go to my browser. And now I'm going to reload print instructor lists. And I get my list of instructor lists. And there's all the names. If I right click on this and view page source, you can see there's some blank lines in here because of the way that it fills in the blanks in the template. And there are ways of getting rid of those blank lines, but I'm just going to ignore them for now.